to go Mayo's way. Lee Keegan is taking it. Diarmuid O'Connor once again picking it up. Keegan once more, hoping to be a bigger influence on the match. He's done a marking job in the first half now, playing it back as far as David Clark, captain of this team when they lost the All-Ireland final 4 years ago. Keith Higgins trying to get away from Bernard Brogan. You look at the number of scorers on both teams who have not, normally scorers who have not scored today. It's quite amazing. Lee Keegan kicked in here into the corner. He was pursued there by...
Start to get right actually over the next half.
Small goes again. Once more Diarmuid O'Connor goes after him. Small still has it. Michael Dara McCauley now. Kevin McMenamin wants it. Love to score in this final. That's well away and a good 20 metres wide of the target in the end.
You can just let both of them down.
Here's Paddy Durkin going forward. Chance to kick this one as he did last year in the semi-final. He's put it over the bar. Not half bad. The 21-year-old from Castlebar Mitchells doesn't want to lose another All-Ireland final at Croke Park. Lost one in the Croke Park final on Patrick's Day in the club final. That's a poor kick out. It's one back again, and this time it's Cillian O'Connor putting his boot behind it. 3 points for him now, the first to come from open play. What a sparkling start to the second half this is. 3 unanswered points by Mayo, and now it's 2-4 to 8 points, and they're right back in it again.
Very much so, and once more they're actually starting to frustrate Dublin somewhat. They're interrupting with their kickouts, and Dublin just have to settle themselves down once more.
2-point game. McMenamin down here towards Paddy Andrews, gets swiftly away off his man who was Paddy Durkin that time, holds it up. McMenamin kicking it in, it's a bad ball, straight to the unmarked Keith Higgins, out to Diarmuid O'Connor. Needs to get more involved in it. Back towards Higgins, who's always involved. Diagonally in here. Fumbled in there by Davy Byrne. One back here by Cillian O'Connor. Then he's held up, and it's going to be a free in. And it's a relatively straightforward free from 20 metres out. He thought about taking it quickly that time.
They have them rattled, there's no doubt about it. Wonderful start from Mayo, 3 points. And Mayo have a wonderful arsenal of skills up front. Cillian O'Connor and Aidan O'Shea in particular, both of those guys can exert, habitually exert a wonderful influence on the game, provided the ball goes in there quickly. They have started exactly the way Stephen Rochford and everybody in Mayo would have hoped.
Cillian O'Connor staying nice and calm, 20 metres out, ready to put this one over, his 4th point of the day. And now it's back to just a 1-point game. What a turnabout in just 5 minutes of the second half.
That will give Mayo all the encouragement they need. It has broken a little bit of the spirit of Dublin, and Dublin now are under a bit of pressure. They're being pressurised so well by Mayo.
Oh, this is a great ball because Mayo were sucked into the middle of the field and didn't spot the run from a deep position of Johnny Cooper, and Cooper goes on and kicks it wide. Oh, that's a terrible miss by Johnny Cooper.
There's an incident.
He's gone down.
I think it is Johnny Cooper's gone down. He had a collision with Aidan O'Shea. It'll be very interesting to see what happens here.
Referee having words with Aidan O'Shea, having missed that. And Aidan O'Shea having a worried look on his face, but getting a lecture, so I suspect it's probably going to be a yellow card. Otherwise the referee would probably just have flashed a black at him. It's yellow.
Yellow card that time, but in that attack when Johnny Cooper went forward, 2 Dublin tacklers were on the opposite side looking for the pass, but Cooper didn't see them.
That's a bad kick out again, this time by Mayo, straight to Brian Fenton, unchallenged. Cian O'Sullivan now. Kieran Kilkenny taking a wide view of things here. And this Dublin team have been through a lot. Will not panic, that's for certain. They're not playing great by any manner of means, but they're still a point ahead. And Brian Fenton has it again, ready to try and take on Tom Parsons, needing Dean Rock. Back in as far as the other midfielder, Michael Dara McCauley. In the end, back down as far as Andrews. He's been an inspiring substitution so far, even though they hadn't intended to bring him in, and that is clumsy defending. It's a 45. There, Brendan Harrison and David Clark almost getting in a muddle between them.
Yeah, poor communication that time. Dangerous ball coming across. Didn't seem to be any great problem. Clark going for it. Harrison should have held off his attacker. Lucky enough that time that actually maybe a 3rd own goal didn't result from it.
That could have trickled over the line. You're quite right, Martin. It's going to be a 45, and it'll be Dean Rock who will take this, looking to put Dublin on the scoreboard for the first time in the second half. A smiling linesman there, Brian Morris Deegan alongside him. Once again, Jim Gavin, his demeanour never gives anything away, does it alongside Mick Deegan. Always cool and calm.
Yes, the response from Dublin, or from Mayo rather, than the second half has been really admirable. They've got stuck into...
Nasty all over the country otherwise. Dean Rock, the 26-year-old from Ballymunkicums, needs to replace it, and they're concerned about that. Mayo trying to make a fuss. Referee just saying he will be adding the time on. No time wasting.
Yeah, they're trying to upset Dean Rock. They're trying to get in his ear and get in his head. Players close to him, Cillian O'Connor, Dermot O'Connor rather than Nathan O'Shea.
Is kicking in towards the hill. Gives it a mighty kick. It's still in play, or is it? Yes, it is. No, it's not. The umpire has belatedly waved it. O'Shea tries to go through himself. The referee has blown his whistle. That is a high challenge, very high challenge. And Michael Dara-McCauley in the thick of the action again there. Once again, it'll be interesting to see if the referee has had a reading of that, whether his linesmen or his umpires saw it. It was after the referee's whistle it sounded. He'd awarded the free already.
He gave the free to Aidan O'Shea. That time Michael Dara-McCauley then followed through. Just watch it here. It comes in. Cillian O'Connor's there and comes in and takes him around the neck. It'll be very, very surprised. I'll be very surprised if there's not a follow-up there by the referee.
Well, if it's an intentional, it would be a black card, that's for sure.
Well, I think the word with the black card, and herein lies the problem with it, is the word deliberate.
And the referee is going back now, and he's speaking with the Ballybowden St Enda's player. He'd already awarded a free kick, as we mentioned there, for the foul on Aidan O'Shea. So it's going to be a free in for Mayo anyway, and a chance for them to level the match in just a moment. But of interest here, the card, and it's a yellow for Michael Dara-McCauley. Shake of the head.
Well, this will put social media on overdrive after that. When is a card black? When should it be yellow? To me, that looked to be more of a black card actually than the one in the first half. When I saw James McCarthy won again at half-time, he was unlucky.
Well, with 25 minutes to go, I think social media and everybody else should be more concerned about who's going to win the All-Ireland final. It's very much hanging in the balance. And it's Cillian O'Connor who's going to take it. He's got 2 points in the second half so far, 4 in all, 3 from frees. Listen to the roar when this goes over. The teams are level for the second time in the All-Ireland football final of 2016. 2-4 to 10 points. Time for change. And the man who's got to come on now is going to be Paul Mannion. And he's coming on for Kevin McMenamin, who made his first start in an All-Ireland final this afternoon, but it didn't work out for him. So a change. Mannion on for his 17th championship match.
He's on. McManaman has been somewhat of a disappointment today. He was very much the go-to man recently, but today, no, it didn't work out for him.
Back here as far as Davy Byrne. Carrying it right across that 20-metre line, over there towards Michael Dara-McCauley. Immediately pressure applied by Shady O'Shea. And this time the referee saw push in the back.
I think he pulled his jersey at that time. Michael Dara-McCauley's getting flustered. Dublin are finding it very difficult to get the ball out of their defence. Pressure being applied by Mayo is just wonderful.
2 goals and 4 points for Dublin, as you were at half-time. They haven't scored in the second half yet, and we're 12 minutes into that. And their 2 goals, in case you joined us late, were 2 own goals inadvertently put in by 2 Mayo players. Tom Parsons, who scored a point from play, trying to round Davy Byrne. And passing it back here. Next it's Seamus O'Shea, 40 metres out. That's a wayward pass, hit indiscriminately there, and picked up by John Small. And from that, Dublin can profit. And it's Diarmuid Connolly tearing forward. Lee Keegan goes after him. They've got quite a history in recent years. Kicked in field this time. Held onto beautifully by Paul Mannion. First touch since coming on. Out to John Small again. From one bad pass by a Mayo player, Dublin launched the next attack and looked to go back in front once again in this final. Paul Mannion just holding it up here, pursued there by Colin Boyle. Back once again to Philly McMahon this time. It reaches Michael Dara-McCauley. Has all the ground in the world there in front of him. Mayo retreat. tried to close in on the various attackers. One of them, Bernard Brogan, that was mishandled, so Bernard Brogan able to get away from his man. On to Brian Fenton. Back out here once again towards the dangerous Kieran Kilkenny. Kilkenny sweeping forward, O'Shea's after him. O'Shea reaches in, down goes Kilkenny, in comes the reinforcement, back goes O'Shea, takes it away from Bernard Brogan. Big roar from the Mayo followers here. They've waited 65 years, remember, to win the All-Ireland. They're feeling good about themselves, but that ball is taken back by Davy Byrne from Jason Doherty. Philly McMahon away to the right-hand side to nobody in particular, out over the end. Andy Moran up against Johnny Cooper, dodges, quick feet. Back it goes. Back here as far as Diarmuid O'Connor, 45 metres out. Trying to get a shot in, stopped once again by Connolly, brilliantly done. Donny Vaughan back as far as Tom Parsons. Then it's Seamus O'Shea putting the boot through it, but a very, very poor kick at the end of all of that. Easy for Stephen Cluxton to begin the next counter-offensive, and there'll be a Dublin attack this time. Johnny Cooper all the way down as far as Paul Mannion. He's a very, very fast player. Donny Vaughan after him. Remember that brilliant goal he got against Donegal in the quarterfinals, one of the goals of the season. Here to Johnny Cooper it comes again. Coming around in the loop, Dean Rock. Back to Michael Dara McCauley.
But just look how quickly the Mayo defence has got back into position. They're getting numbers back.
They need to. Here's Rock looking to give Dublin the lead. Stopped. Brilliantly done by David Clark. Really good goalkeeping. He wasn't going to give up as far as Bernard Brogan. Like so many of the Dublin forwards, yet to score. Brian Fenton can score here. A nice, easy shot. Kicking it over the bar, gliding it over. And Brian Fenton, man of the match last year, has put Dublin back in front again with 51 minutes gone.
Oh, that's a real giveaway from a Mayo point of view. Straight pass from Shimmy O'Shea that time. Fenton gobbles it up and calmly puts it over the bar. Just at a time when Mayo look to have another chance to get the ball forward.
Well, they have now. Here's Cillian O'Connor. It's attack after attack. Both sides opting to retreat, go into their shell, and then say to the other team, well, you see what you can do. And Seamus O'Shea is going to see what he can do. There's an enormous gap through the centre. Looks up quickly now to see where there's movement, but there's far too many Dublin players there. It was a hit and hope one in towards his younger brother, Aidan. Too many backs there to intercept. And one of them, Kieran Kilkenny, back augmenting the backs, carrying it away with some purpose. Down as far as Paul Mannion. On he goes, retreating Colin Boyle. A point ahead, looking to put it two ahead. What a block! Brilliantly done that time by Diarmuid O'Connor. Comes out to Michael Dara McCauley, and then in the end it's Paddy Andrews, score of 2 points in the first half. Back to Dean Rock, up into the air. The umpires have a look at it and come out to wave the white flag. And Dublin have got another score. And Dean Rock has got one from play. 3-0 for him now, and it's Dublin by 2.
A Herculean effort that time, I think it was, by Paddy Durkin. Great opportunity, great blocking. But unfortunately, from a Mayo point of view, Rock picks up the pieces, kicks a good score, but Dublin's counter-attack that time was just simply devastating.
Michael Fitzsimons is on, and I think it is Michael Dara McCauley, the one who is making his way off. And I wonder if that's a reflection on the way he's been playing today, or whether Jim has got some plans in his head as to how he's going to reshape the team, or perhaps because he's on a yellow card and they were worried that he might have picked up a black some time ago, and if he commits another foul like a black, it would be a red anyway. They'd be down to 14. Mayo have to come again. They're 2 behind. Moving forward, Paddy Durkin, bad ball again, given away sloppily to Davy Byrne.
Yes, the last couple of attacks, actually, they've unnecessarily turned the ball over.
Oh, and almost another turnover. Mayo went in with concern and bravery that time, but it's Diarmuid Connolly who emerges with it. Ball taken from him, a combination of Mayo players. Donny Vaughan got back. Loads of errors, loads of excitement as well, and you wouldn't know who's going to win this. It's advantage Dublin at the moment, but Mayo have other ideas, and Jason Doherty gets by 2 players. Here's a chance for Andy Moran. No, he's missed it. He's put it over the bar, but there was a goal there.
Oh, what an opportunity. That time, Jason Doherty going forward, kept his head, kept his composure, wonderful vision out of the side of his eyes, and Andy Moore sliced it over the bar. That was a great goal-scoring opportunity, Sporting.
We're going to see a change from Mayo very shortly, I think. Alan Dillon will be coming in to play in his 5th All-Ireland final. A link with the team. The team's beaten in the noughties 04 and 06 by Kerry, like Andy Moran. This is Cian O'Sullivan back there. A 1-point game, 2-6 to 11 points, 12 points to 11. You wouldn't know who's going to win this.
Well,
You wouldn't know what's going to happen next either.
Very much so, but the levels of fitness from both sides is simply mesmerising.
This is what's going to happen. Paul Mannion got onto a loose break that wasn't cut out. Then the ball runs away from him, and down to pick it up is Diarmuid O'Connor. And in the end, the referee has blown his whistle and given Mayo a free out.
You are correct, the ball did run away from him that time.
There's a Dublin player down, and I think that is John Small. So they're down to 14 at the moment. John Small out of the action, receiving treatment. Here comes Kevin McLaughlin. Quite a match. You've so much written about it, so much talked about it. Nobody predicted it would be this kind of game. Aidan O'Shea carrying it on again, laying it off to Andy Moore and missed the goal chance. Looking to get another score, swung around by Philly McMahon. Referee allows play to continue. Comes back here to Keith Higgins. Back in once more. This is Donny Vaughan. He's already scored. Fancies his chances again. He's put it wide.
Oh, yeah, I was watching the crowd behind the goals that time. There was
Place of Shamey O'Shea. Alan Dillon from Ballintubber, who's got a goal and 105 points to his credit. 32 years of age. The amazing thing about Alan Dillon is the one goal he has scored in championship football, he scored it back in his first All-Ireland final against Kerry in 2004. That's the only goal he's ever scored in the championship.
Well, it's a credit to his durability and his longevity, the fact that he has continued to play football.
That's a great kick out, beautifully taken down by John Small, happily recovered. Here's Mannion, missed last year when he was away. They missed him as well, but he's back and hoping to win an All-Ireland medal today on the park with the Dubs, who are hoping to do the double and a fourth All-Ireland win in 6 years and condemn Mayo to another disappointing afternoon at Croke Park. That's beautifully down as far as Paddy Andrews, out chasing him, Paddy Durkin. The battle of the Paddies here. Andrews trying to get it inside onto his left, kicking from a seemingly impossible angle. He's put it wide.
Great, wonderful defending that time from Paddy Durkin. Pushed him out to the side, got him onto his weaker foot. Durkin, for a lad who was actually a little bit of bother during the week with his leg, he's having a very fine game.
Here's Kevin McLaughlin transferring it to Colin Boyle. Between them, they had the misfortune to put the ball past their own goalkeeper during the first half. Paddy Durkin. No way going forward there. The route blocked by Ciarán Kilkenny. Back as far as Diarmuid O'Connor. Fumbled here, but it's won back by Alan Dillon once again. Carrying it on here, Tom Parsons. Going long to a three-man inside forward line. Andy Moran goes chasing after it. Across after him to cover him and shadow him is Johnny Cooper. Aidan O'Shea uses his body well, keeps it away from Philly McMahon, then runs into Mick Fitzsimons. Here's Alan Dillon. Second touch since coming on. Back to Andy Moran, trying to thread it through towards Dillon. Ball runs loose. Finally picked up here. And that's Mick Fitzsimons getting that ball away with the fisted pass. Davy Byrne.
What composed defending. That's fabulous defending from Dublin, keeping very, very calm all the time.
Two players on the ground at the other end. Meanwhile, the challenges are hard and tough. John Small, the last man to pick himself up. The referee goes across here to deal with this. Gets a little tetchy here with Paul Flynn and Lee Keegan getting involved. This is Flynn. That was the shoulder there coming across of Colin Boyle.
Yeah, I'd say it's a yellow card territory. The referee's just stalling things, calling Colin Boyle out to him, telling him to calm down. I think, okay, it was a pretty hard tackle, but I don't think there was any malice in it.
I think he's very puzzled by the fact that he went in with his shoulder, and the referee ends up giving him a card for that.
Well, certainly Colin Boyle is one of those guys who carries more heart than a tribe of Apache Indians. Every game he plays, he gets stuck in. Great bit of stuff.
Well, the Apache Indians are looking on as he has got himself a yellow. And his team 1 point behind still. 12 minutes to go in the final. There's still some unfinished business there between them. Chris Barrett's going to come in a little while, and Colin Boyle is going to be withdrawn.
Yeah, I think that's precautionary. I'm just afraid that Colin might pick up a second yellow and Mayo a man down. But the movement, there's very little movement, it must be said, from Dublin up front at the moment.
Here's Kilkenny. John Small racing forward here. Back once again towards Ciarán Kilkenny. Brian Fenton, who's been a very influential figure in the middle of the park, had long spells dominating things, setting up chances, an exciting young player. Another exciting young player, Paul Mannion. In here, Andrews kicking, and that one. In fact, it's Bernard Brogan eventually, and Bernard Brogan. Imagine a score as impoverished looking as that after nearly an hour of play, and the 2 goals contributed by Mayo defenders. Mayo come once more. Keith Higgins, Tom Parsons on his shoulder, keeping it away from Cian O'Sullivan. Hasn't been mopping up that loose ball the way he's been doing in so many matches, in championship matches up to now. Higgins, again a very poor final effort, still a 1-point game.
And what's very frustrating from a Mayo point of view is that Cillian O'Connor and Aidan O'Shea rather are in there waiting for the delivery, but the delivery is substandard in the last couple of occasions.
Dublin are going to energise their forward line, I think, in a few minutes' time, but we'll wait until they do so. Brian Fenton, challenged there by Cillian O'Connor, holds on to it, has a look up. Once again, it's Kilkenny moving onto it. Nifty footwork to Bernard Brogan, able to take a return. Dublin coming looking for a goal which one of their forwards might score this time. Ball touched on the ground as Kieran Kilkenny fell down. Free kick taken by Brendan Harrison. We've only got 10 minutes to go here. Who's going to win it?
Well,
Diarmuid O'Connor.
Well, it's one of these games that's magnetising attention right through, and every single player is playing out of his skin.
It's 1 against 2, and really they should have got that one away. And there's a challenge there on Donny Vaughan. The referee says a fair challenge, and the referee has tried to let it go whenever he can. This time he has whistled, and there is going to be a change now, and Owen O'Gara is going to come on, and the player who's going to be making way will be Bernard Brogan.
Yeah, I'm not surprised actually that Owen O'Gara's been brought in. Bernard Brogan, they depend on him inside to make those runs. They haven't been happening.
Good Lord, look at this, look at this. My goodness me. Testing the jersey, it's ridiculous stuff. Yeah. Lee Keegan and Diarmuid Connolly.
Yeah, I think the referee's attention has been called to that by his umpires. So once more, the referee has some bookkeeping work to do.
Well, sorting out, and he's gone straight down to his 2 umpires down at the Hill 16 end, Pat Kelly and DJ O'Sullivan, and there'll be a fresh jersey required for Diarmuid Connolly. They really are testing the quality of the old jerseys they're wearing. New nifty style this year, and finally at the end of all that, the referee comes across. Lee Keegan at the receiving end, and also in close proximity is one Diarmuid Connolly.
I think both of them will get yellow cards in this case. Yes, that's what happens, and on the word of the umpire.
So a yellow card each. It just delays and stalls what we hope will be a flowing last 8 minutes of this game, maybe to redeem it in some respects, because there were so many missed opportunities, so many mistakes, so many errors, at the same time a lot of excitement. Bernard Brogan making his way off. On comes Owen O'Gara. There's got Fenton. He's been covering an immense amount of ground. Philly McMahon kicking it down here, fumbled by Connolly. Yellow carded just a moment ago. There's the man who was yellow carded with him, Lee Keegan. Back to Philly McMahon, it comes again. Oh, it's a bad ball by McMahon. In nipped Kevin McLaughlin. So many mistakes. Who's going to benefit from the errors in the end, in an error-strewn All-Ireland final? Back out to Dillon. Alan Dillon kicking, splitting the post. Great point. And the teams are level now for the 3rd time.
What a score from Dillon. Wise old head, knew exactly what to do, measured the shot, caressed it over the bar, but indecision, I think, on the part of David Byrne that time presented the opportunity.
It's 11 minutes now since Dublin scored. Paul Mannion setting this one up. Carried on here by Paul Flynn. Back to Kieran Kilkenny. You feel now at this late stage in the game, with the teams very weary, that every pack is going to have to yield something if you're going to get your hands on the cup today.
But Mayo look to be the team that has the greater energy, the greater urgency at the moment. Just if they could get that little bit just more composure in close to goals, I think they could go on and win this.
That's Chris Barrett, first touch for him back there. McLaughlin again. Aidan O'Shea touching it out here as far as Donny Vaughan. Coming forward with his Diarmuid O'Connor, looking to try and get a score that will put Mayo in front at a crucial late stage in the game. Dublin have still so many dangerous forwards, we know that.
There's a lot with a great engine, Paddy Durkin, but Mayo have been so feisty throughout the second half.
O'Connor once again, back here as far as Keith Higgins, had been captain, loses the ball to Brian Fenton. What a match he has played. Once again it is Michael Fitzsimons from Coola carrying it on, stopped in his tracks by Paddy Durkin. Dean Rock getting it back, Dublin holding. They will use time and they will try and create space and they will try and get the perfect scoring opportunity. And they have classy forwards up there who could do a lot of damage, even this late in the game when they must be tired. John Small dodging past Aidan O'Shea, Small kicking, and Dublin lead again.
Oh, that was too easy that time. Small just drifted into a good angle, took the ball on his right foot. Great composure from Dublin, lovely lateral move and just a little shimmy, showing the ball to Aidan O'Shea. O'Shea couldn't adjust his feet. Fine score that time from Small.
That's just his second ever championship score. And Alan Dillon, I think, is injured. He's gone off and he's been replaced by Barry Moran.
Yeah, well, Barry Moran, that'll be the twin tower approach now, I'd imagine. High ball into Barry Moran. He can be very good on it, even though normally he wouldn't like to play in the full forward line, more of a midfielder. There's another change as well for Dublin. Darren Daly has come on in place of Davy Byrne. And we're also going to see number 19 here, who is Stephen Cohen, of course, who led to go. O'Gara has won it from the kick out here for Dublin. And in the end, the referee's got to bring the ball back because there wasn't an immediate advantage coming their way, even though Dean Rock had the ball in his hands. Yeah, referee giving them a free kick instead, so Dean Rock will hope to try and put this one over the bar and put 2 points between the teams with just under 3 minutes of the 70 to go. A typical Dublin end-of-game scenario at the moment. They've been so impressive coming down the stretch late in games, and not for the first time. The likes of O'Gara, maybe it is, who actually got that ball and earned the free. Today it may well be Dublin's bench that will win the All-Ireland for them if they are to do so. Dean Rock coming and putting it brilliantly over. He's taken the pressure on his young shoulders. He may have missed a couple earlier on, but he's nailed that one at a vital time. And now Stephen Rochford and Mayo must be wondering, is there anything they can do about it, as Connolly kicks, and Connolly scores an amazing score. He's always capable of something special, an immense talent. Well, what a score by Connolly, again pressurising the kick out, and there's another kick out pressurised, and has been critical from a Mayo Mayo point of view, actually, that score. And Mayo now need to get a goal just to level the match. Under 2 minutes to go. Tom Parsons carries it on. Dublin by 3 points. Parsons kicking diagonally across. Mayo hoping for a favourable bounce, and Andy Moran's able to get to it. Playing it inside here, Cillian O'Connor trying to step inside, and that one has gone, well, it's not gone nowhere, because it's going to be called back, because it's got to be a free in. Referee giving the free kick to Mayo so they can get one back here with time running out. However, an opportunity to put this over the bar. This is what was happening here. Andy Moran chasing after it, Mick Fitzsimons after him. Yeah, foul there, and referee Conor Lynn didn't give the advantage to Cillian O'Connor has put it over the bar. 6 points for Cillian O'Connor, the 24-year-old UUJ student, captain of Mayo. But is he to get his hands on Sam Maguire? Time is running out. We're inside the last minute, as you can see. Plus, whatever amount of time the referee is prepared to add on. And that has varied so much in championship matches this summer. We understand there could be as many as 7 minutes of added time. And that is the most I can remember in an All-Ireland final, I have to say. That's incredible if that comes. But just go back to Connolly's point a couple of minutes ago, he's been very quiet, but that quietness doesn't obscure his quality when he gets an opportunity like he did. Mayo behind by 2. Dublin trying to hold on now. And holding onto the football brilliantly was Johnny Cooper. Out as far as Cian O'Sullivan. Back out as far as Diarmuid O'Connolly, who got that fabulous point a little while back. Brian Fenton will hold, and they'll just try to shave a few seconds off the clock now, as we're almost into the red at the end of 70 minutes. And then we'll have it confirmed. There are indeed 7 minutes to be played. Suddenly that gives renewed heart and hope to the men
in the green and the red. Aidan O'Shea, 2 behind, held up, free kick, quickly taken, nicely on. Donald Vaughan trying to go by Diarmuid Connolly, kicking it with his right boot and kicking it over the bar. The lead's down to 1. What a final. 2 points for Donny Vaughan.
What a point by Vaughan. Like, one of these players who will run all day, nominally at sighted at fullback, but he's got forward so often today, so effective. And that is a display of heart and quality from Mayo right through the game, and epitomised by that score from Vaughan.
Evan Regan's on, and he's on in place of Andy Moran. So now, will we get a winner today? You just wonder.
Well, there's been such a history of draws between the two teams over the years. I think 1955, 1985, a couple of years back.
Last year,
yeah.
Andy Moran's off. Evan Regan is the fresh face on there. And play will continue now with a kick out to Dublin, and it'll be Stephen Cluxton who will kick it. He's going to kick it long for once.
And he's been pressurised very, very effectively all through the game, and Mayo is one area of the game that has really been very effective.
None of the kickouts by either goalkeeper today has been contested between the 8s and the 9s, as used to be the case. But now it's cat and mouse, and there are 5.5 minutes left of stoppage time. And it's still Dublin leading by 1.
Yeah, Aidan O'Shea that time claiming that he just put legitimate pressure on the ball carrier. Clever play by Johnny Cooper.
Cooper has stayed down.
Oh, he's staying down to eat into the clock as much as possible.
Well, I think the referee will probably add time on for this. You could be certain. Kieran Kilkenny back out here as far as Cian O'Sullivan. Trading passes with Johnny Cooper. My goodness, that's a miraculous recovery. Whatever he's on, I must get on myself. Cian O'Sullivan back again to Brian Fenton. Under pressure, 2 men surrounding him, fouling him. Free kick to Dublin.
But you notice, Gerard, there aren't any runs being made by the Dublin players at the moment. They're out on their feet. They're finding it very difficult to get support runners. Nobody up front making runs. Connolly is quiet enough just over the last couple of moments, being marked right so well by Vaughan.
Kicked ahead. Good positioning this time. Darren Daly. Daly dragged down. And that again is black card territory. Cillian O'Connor this time. The referee seemed to just note it. Maybe he decided it wasn't intentional. How to define that word intentional is the major problem for all of us.
Well, that's the thing. That's what gives the black card a bad name. Was James McCarthy's any worse than that? I don't think so.
Referee's call. Diarmuid Connolly. Out here as far as Johnny Cooper. They could use another score, Dublin. Will Connolly be the one with that dummy solo to try and set something up here late in the match? Once again, it's Johnny Cooper. Did a great job in the semi-final as well against Kerry. Kieran Kilkenny. Oh, he's suddenly in the clear. There's a point for the taking if he puts it over the bar, and maybe he gives it to Dean Rocker, perhaps on O'Gara. They're taking a lot of time over it, and finally they make a complete hames of it. And it's still a 1-point game, 2-9 to 14 points. They had 3 players that time who could have put it over the bar, and really Kieran Kilkenny was the first man in to have put it over.
Yeah,
then his Spastic's on.
Yeah, responsibility being passed from one to the other that time. Typifies in some respects the lack of confidence at times in the Dublin attack today, but you would have thought that the experienced player would have taken control of that and actually taken the score.
Flynn off, Bastic on. Dublin tried to pen Mayo back there. Keith Higgins, they're still a point behind. We have just under 3 minutes of the added time to go. Mayo need to bring the ball down into Dublin territory, and they can't do so because Tom Parsons was fouled, however, by Diarmuid Connolly, and there's a let-off for Mayo. They can get a free instead into the hands of Aidan O'Shea. It's now or never. Lee Keegan back to O'Shea again. Making a run for him was Kevin McLaughlin. O'Shea ignores him. Has a little look up. High up into the clouds. Oh dear. It's out towards the corner flag. That's a shocking kick at this late stage in the game. Absolutely shocking.
It's most untypical of Aidan O'Shea. Just at a time when you need composure, just at a time when you need the leadership. Unfortunate from a Mayo point of view, he just gives that ball aimlessly and
only 2 minutes left. Stephen Rochford knows all about it. So too does Jim Gavin. are Dublin, without playing all that well, about to win the Sam Maguire for 2016. Time against Mayo. The ball's in Dublin hands. They've had a couple of chances to get another score. Mick Fitzsimons now back here as far as Paul Mannion. Holding on, wasting some time. 90 seconds to go of the 7 minutes of added time. Dublin by 1. They come once more. Kilkenny looking for a free kick. Referee says play on. He's got two players to his left. Looked at them. Finally, somehow it reaches Paddy Andrews. His 2 points in the first half were so important. His first, after 33 minutes, was Dublin's first score to come from open play. And that kind of day for them.
Very much so. And that indisputable little bit of extra experience that Dublin had, that comes with maybe winning on ours, is standing to them at the moment. I notice Connolly here taking his time with this, eating into the clock as much as possible. They will try, I think, and put this ball dead or play it down into the corner.
Are Mayo to lose an All-Ireland final once again by just a point? It's happened before. They will say it's happened far too often. Diarmuid Connolly kicking it out and wide.
Mayo need to get
maybe
this.
One chance left. Maybe there is.
One chance left. This is now or never.
Well, it's been now or never for Mayo for quite some time. Some would say for 65 years. They get the ball up as far as Stephen Cohen. Runs on to Tom Parsons. Into Cillian O'Connor. Aidan O'Shea. Back to O'Connor. Dublin have got to be disciplined now, not give away a free kick. O'Connor's going for it. He's kicked it. He's kicked it over the bar. They're level. The All-Ireland final looks set for a replay. Cillian O'Connor with his 7th point. The teams are level for the 4th time.
What a score from O'Connor. Again, the two main players you want to get on the ball, Aidan O'Shea and Cillian O'Connor, combined that time. O'Connor's calmness under pressure at a moment when you needed him most. That is a fantastic score.
They've got a player down. They're claiming there was a foul in there. It's getting heated. We're expecting a fair old battle this afternoon, but I didn't mean with fisticuffs like this.
No, it's just ending a little bit unsavoury at the moment. It has been a very fair game. There's been a lot of aggressive tackling, all right, but just watch O'Connor's composure. Fantastic finisher. Wonderful score.
He is a superb finisher. Mayo's most recognised scoring outlet has done it for them here. Stephen Cloxton back to Kieran Kilkenny. It's all over. The all
part of this amazing journey.
Yeah, half-time was a strange place. We hadn't performed. And we came out there in the second half, and I think we did ourselves justice. And our captain stood up there in the minute at the end to equalise the score and give us another chance in 6 or 7 days.
What was the mood like at half-time? Because you conceded 2 goals, 2 OGs. You must have been wondering, is it going to be another bad day for Mayo?
You can always take that approach, but a goal is a goal. It doesn't matter really how it goes in. We were just in there, we were disappointed the way we played. Our performance wasn't up to standard, and I think we came out in the second half and showed at least what we can do.
You showed a lot of character and a lot of self-belief in pretty tough conditions.
Yeah, the conditions were very tough. In any other pitch, them conditions would be fine. In Croker, it's a bit quicker, makes the ball move a bit, and it's hard for inside forwards. You've seen it on both sides, even for backs. So, yeah, it was tough, but we showed good character, and we'll move on.
You equalised, as you mentioned, with your captain. You now have to prepare for a replay.
Yeah, it's same as last year in the semi-final. Would we have taken a replay with 3 minutes to go? Most certainly. Could we have won the game? Most certainly. I missed a chance for a goal there. But listen, on conditions like that, All-Ireland final day, we weren't given a chance. We come up here, we draw the game, we'll be ready for next week.
In terms of a strategy and tactics, you really put the All-Ireland champions under severe pressure right from around 3:30 this afternoon.
Yeah, we've proved time and time again that we're a good team. And we'll come again next week and hopefully can put them under a bit more pressure and hopefully finish off the job.
Well done, Andy Moore, and thank you for joining us.
Well done to Andy Moore, and well done to both teams. It may have ended in a draw, and I think the panel agree with me here in studio. That was, I know the word epic is an overused cliche, but it was epic.
It was everything you want in a sporting contest. Physicality, intensity, competitiveness. 30 players, 38 players giving their all, and also aided and abetted by a referee who left the play. There was huge hits in it. There was huge work rate, huge levels of fitness, and look, no one deserved to lose it.
Sure.
It was really, really enjoyable, and it's hard to please us, but I'm sure we're all happy.
I suppose the best compliment, Colin Rourke, that you can play to the two teams is, and we know how fit GAA teams are in the modern era and the way they're conditioned and coached and so on, they were out on their feet.
Absolutely, but like apart from fitness, there's heart and commitment and spirit, which are far more important. And Mayo in particular, and we all talk about how great Dublin were. Like, apart from the physical courage of Mayo, they had moral courage when they needed it most. There were 5 behind, then there were 2 behind in the second half, and there were 3 behind with a few minutes to go, and they came back. So anybody that would ever talk about Mayo's heart for a battle, I think they silenced all critics today.
They did, but also I think the same applies, and I know what Colin was saying, obviously, Joe, the same applies to Dublin. Their title was on the line, they survived.
You know, there was a lot of dynamism in their defence, but it was Mayo's day, you know, and I think that 5 points behind, you know, that atrocious bad luck, the way they soldiered through the second half, and I must say I felt they were going to push through and win it. The important thing for Mayo to recognise is that this job just begins again now. This is dead. There's nothing to this now.
Yes.
You know, I would rather they didn't do interviews now. This has got to start all over again. Because they know they're good enough. We've always known that. Andy Moran says, oh, sure, we know we're good enough. Sure, we've had a good team. We've had a very good team. We've beaten the best. That's true.
Yeah.
Beat them in the replay now.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Beat them in the replay. Push on. I mean,
Well,
I
we
know
have
that Mayo people will be feeling very proud this evening, and anybody watching them was thrilled by their endeavour from start to finish. Push on now. That's it. That's the only thing that's there.
If there was a fault with them, yes, maybe they didn't push on. Do you know, when it
No,
came to
you know,
a draw
they-
with
they're
25
very
minutes
tough.
ago. But I will say this, and I have to agree, because I've said it so many times about Mayo teams down through the years, they were chokers. They were mentally frail. Today, they showed they were not that. They showed great heart, great mental resolve. They were down and out at half-time. They came back, they won that second half 10-5. They scored the last 3 scores. They got their defensive system right. They got the match-up right. Bernard Brogan held scoreless. Dermot Conley gets 1 point from playing near the end. Paul Flynn scoreless. They got all the match-up rights. They won all the individual battles. But like I said, it's only half-time. It's only half-time.
The danger, as both of you have touched on, is that Mayo could lose the run of themselves with a draw.
They should be
Dublin will go away and forensically analyse this game. The hype surrounding Mayo now for the replay is going to be like it was in the past.
Mayo-
So it's going to be a test of how cold and how clinical they are to approach this game in the same way in the replay and then beat Dublin and remove all the scars of the past.
Mayo should be seething with disappointment.
Yes.
They should be saying to themselves, 2 freak own goals. That was our game. We are the better team now. We can impose our will on them. We've done that. They shouldn't be going away saying, oh, we're a good team. You know, we've proved to a lot of people. Forget about that old stuff. Don't prove to anybody else. Prove to yourself. You know, they should go out now and do this job. You know, because it's about time. And then, you know what, we'll all be able to relax and get on with our lives once Mayo win an All-Ireland. Please, God, they win an All-Ireland. Yeah. You know, nobody wants it more than I do. But go out and do it now. And you know, this is not a time for backpatting or saying, just made a great performance against the Dubs. Who cares about that?
And you're right. And you prove the critics right when you win an All-Ireland. You don't prove the critics right or prove the critics wrong in a draw in All-Ireland. Now it's up to them. 75 minutes. Now today, I think, when you analyse this in Corley today and they look back and this was a game that Mayo left behind. This was a day when the Dubs were there for the taking. This was a day when the Dubs were not firing on all cylinders. This was a day that the Dubs should have been taken out.
They had 2 goal chances as well. They had 2 goal chances in the second half. The one that fell to Andy Moran, a wee dummy in the net, game over. Game over. I mean, that's where we're at here.
In fairness,
you've got to put them away, but it's all right in fairness.
No,
Colin,
Pat's point is dead on. Dublin weren't at their best today. Now, with all due respect to Mayo, I'm not saying that,
but Mayo put them that way. Mayo made them that way.
Yeah, Mayo had to survive outrageous bad fortune, and they still came back from it. The danger for Mayo is that Dublin will not be as poor again, because there was times in that game as if Dublin were believing their own hype and thought that they didn't have to go out and work as hard as Mayo were prepared to do. They didn't put in that hard shift today. It'll be a different Dublin team, I think, in the replay, but Mayo could be better too.
Well, I mean, hopefully Mayo defenders will not score own goals in the replay. That takes 6 points out of it. I mean, the reality was that Dublin were powerless up front. Bernard Brogan, the inside forwards, they made nil headway because Mayo were ferocious. They dived, they tackled, they refused to quit. And that's exactly where they want to be here. Dublin are All-Ireland champions and they've been there. And, you know, long runs don't go on forever. This is the time. You could see it out there today. Mayo had the mental strength for this. But it's no good batting themselves in the back.
No. There was another question to the three of you about all of this. How are you all fixed on the 1st of October?
You'd park everything to get a rerun of what we just saw.
Getting 2 lucky goals in play and scoring 5 from play, just that's not good enough in an All-Ireland final. And no better players than anybody else than the Dublin players to understand that. So I think we got all the luck, we got all the ball bounced for us today. We're very lucky, and we're just looking forward to another opportunity to play in the final and play against a great Mayo team.
Talk to me about what you said at half-time, because you conceded 2 goals, both in 1 goals, which I haven't seen before, I think, in an All-Ireland final. What did you say to them?
Look, it wasn't much different to what was said beforehand. We were 5 points down, the concession of 2 disappointing goals. We turned over the ball a little bit easily. I think we had about 12 turnovers in the first half that we wouldn't have been anyways happy about. And it was about showing more control in possession, and the chances would come. And I think we knocked, maybe 3 points in the first 5 minutes of the second half, and obviously that put us in a good position.
Would you say that Mayo, in terms of their matchups that they did, they kind of got 10 out of 10, they really did a good job on the All-Ireland Champions? We struggled to find your rhythm?
Absolutely, we struggled throughout that game. One or two purple patches, but overall we certainly wouldn't be happy with that. And if we had come away with the win, we didn't really deserve it today. So we'll go away and regroup and try and get what we can from the game, and we're already looking forward to get back here in 2 weeks' time.
These boys have shown plenty of resolve and resilience over the last number of years, not just not just this year. So we're going to have to show that again in abundance when we appear here in 13 days. We're still in the All-Ireland final, so we've no qualms about that. Delighted to be training and preparing for an All-Ireland final.
Yeah, fantastic drama. Tomás O'Shea, Jim Gavin seems to concede they weren't the better team in any way. Was the draw a fair result in your view?
Probably was, yes. I suppose Mayo might be disappointed that they didn't sneak it, I don't think there was an awful lot of good football today, even though it was exciting the second half. There was 2 freakish goals in the first half. It isn't often you'd see a team winning by 2 points and not scored yet. I think the Dubs were as flat as a forward unit as I've ever seen them, and you have to give Mayo credit to that. I think Mayo went for it at stages, but at the very, very end, it was a great score by Killian O'Connor to draw it. It was a hard game to ref. There was a lot of off-the-ball stuff going on. And I think Dublin will be very, very happy that they actually got a draw out of it.
Yeah. What's your view on it, Kieran?
Yeah, I'd agree with Tomás. It was a poor game, but it was pulsating. It kept you on the edge of the seat, really. From a Dublin perspective...
Poor in what sense? I mean, the conditions were very difficult.
Conditions were difficult. I just think there was a lot of mistakes on both sides, and I think the conditions led to that. But there was, particularly Dublin didn't play to the level that we expect them to. If you went into that game, I suppose, at the start of the game, and you'd said that the Dublin starting forwards only get 2 points from play, they'd go 29 minutes in the first half without getting a score. They'd go 15 minutes to start the second half without getting a score. Any team that goes those long periods really doesn't deserve to win a game, and it was strange coming near the end. If Dublin had got over the line, it would have really felt like daylight robbery, because they didn't. It was probably one of the poorest Dublin performances under Jim Gavin, and I'd say
Mayo were the better team in your view.
Listen, Mayo went for it. They came up and they brought an intensity, and they went at the Dublin. They got in their faces today. They were very solid defensively. They mightn't have been as great at the other end of the field, and they'll feel, there was missed chances at their end as well. In my opinion, they left it behind. Dublin were there for the taking today, and they left it behind them.
And will they live to regret that?
We'll see. That's on Saturday week. But we can do it. As Dubs, we would be happy that we have a lot to improve, and we'd be happy just to get another go at it, because it just wasn't the level of performance that we know that team can put in.
Yeah, because the Mayo team, Desi, have taken stick, that they have failed to win big games. I mean, it took some resolve to come back today, didn't it, from the sickener of the 2 OGs?
Yeah, well, that's it. They constantly showed character. They were, throughout the game, they showed great intensity. They came back on numerous occasions. They tackled extremely hard. But that's the thing about this Dublin team, and that's the problem with them. Even though they didn't play well today, it was Mayo were the team that got the point, the last kick of the game, you could say, to draw the game. Stephen Rocher is a very impressive manager in the fact that he got a lot of the matchups correct. You see the Dublin half-Ireland didn't score from play. Add in Bernard Brogan didn't score either. And that's the thing about Stephen Rochford. People might know much about him. He came from Corofin, and they masterminded a great victory over St. Vincent's, a hotly tipped St. Vincent's team at the time last year in the club championship. So that's the pedigree. He seems to be a very good manager to work the opposition and get to know their strengths and kind of nullify their strengths.
It's some stat that the Mayo number 3, Donald Vaughan, scored more than 5 of the Dublin forwards combined. You got some odds on that to us before the match.
Yeah, look, it was one of these games where it's been a long, long time since I've seen those Dublin forwards as quiet. You know, I think it was a mixture of them not being on song and just Mayo tactically setting up. I think you have to give credit to Mayo tactically. This season, I suppose, in comparison to the last couple of seasons, it wasn't just hunger that was going to win it for Mayo today. I think tactically, and I would agree with Kieran, it was there for the taking if they just went for it. And in the end, they were just lucky.
I think they did show that aggression, and like that was one of the key things. I think they really got in Dublin's faces physically, because, you know, again, all the talk and the narrative and the build-up was Dublin and the intensity they play in. But Mayo came, in fairness to them, they came and they tried to wind Dublin up.
As I know, and they did it. They achieved that. But will you see as Dublin as bad again? I doubt it. I actually doubted it. And maybe I might be wrong now, and maybe Mayo could come back. But then if they do, and if Dublin turn them over the next day, Mayo will rue today.
Yeah, but a lot of people are saying that this Mayo team don't have leaders, and, you know, they're not a team that can perform on the big day. Throughout the match today, they constantly showed that they can do it, they can deliver, and players are quite like that point from Cillian O'Connor in that late in the game from the captain at that moment. It was incredible character, and I think they deserve massive credit, and they showed great leadership throughout the pitch.
And Tomas, when you say like they should have gone at them or whatever, or they might root, I mean, you cannot legislate for. I mean, how cruel is 2 own goals in an All-Ireland final?
It was ridiculous. I couldn't believe it, like, you know, and the way it just happened, and it was, in fairness, the Dubs had created 2 good goal-scoring chances and 2 brilliant saves, and then it just with a toe poke, 2 toe pokes in, like, you know. But the start that Mayo had in the second half, I thought, was brilliant. You know, I thought that they were possibly in trouble. I thought Dublin would come back out stronger, but really Mayo came at it strong.
There was a surreal atmosphere, Des, around the ground at half-time, I think.
Yeah, it looked like it was,
Dublin fans were scratching their heads going, how are we 5 points up? And the Mayo fans were thinking, how did we concede 2 on goals?
It was crazy stuff.
Dublin hadn't played in the first half, and I was expecting definitely that's them 5 points up and not even playing. I thought they were definitely going to come out.
And generally a second-half team, and they improved in the second half.
And Mayo came out, and Mayo started rattling the scores at the start.
OK, well then coming up after the break, the lads are going to take us through more of those talking points and show you what they're talking about. We'll see you shortly.